You sit there calmly, genuinely believing you have plenty of time, right until you don't. Your brain perceives 5 minutes as an hour, completely distorting reality. Then you fall into the one more thing trap just as you reach for the door. It's called time blindness. The clock is practically invisible to your mind. You calculate travel time based on a miracle, ignoring the reality of the road. The shower becomes a time machine where 20 minutes vanish instantly. You can't find your keys because your brain is already at the destination. Transitioning from rest to action feels physically painful. Sometimes you just sit on the edge of the bed in a towel, staring at nothing. Optimism bias tells you that traffic simply doesn't exist today. Why start a new project 10 minutes before you need to leave? Suddenly, the outfit you planned looks wrong, causing a total crisis. You text, "I'm on my way," when you were still putting on socks. The adrenaline of the deadline is the only fuel that actually moves you. And the shame. You feel intense shame every time you walk in late. It's not disrespect. You are just struggling with executive function. You check the time and realize 30 minutes passed in a blink. Now you're running for the bus like you're in an action movie. Trust me, you hate being late more than anyone else hates you for it. You promise next time will be different, and you genuinely mean it. You set 5 alarms, but your brain just ignores every single one. You underestimate the time it takes to just put on shoes. The transition tax steals precious minutes between every task. You remember you forgot something the exact moment you lock the door. Your perception of time speeds up exactly when you need it to slow down. You get distracted by a shiny object right before leaving. You try to do one quick thing and suddenly lose 20 minutes. You feel physically heavy when trying to start the process of getting ready. You calculate the absolute minimum time needed, leaving zero margin for error. Elevator delays feel like a personal attack from the universe. You run back inside for your phone, then your wallet, then your keys. You drive faster to make up time, just stressing yourself out. And of course, the red light lasts for an eternity just for you. You text 5 minutes away when you were actually 15. You arrive sweaty, disheveled, and exhausted from the rush. The walk of shame into a quiet meeting room is pure torture. You make up a small lie because the truth sounds crazy. You promise yourself to leave early next time, but we know you won't. Time feels slippery, like you just can't get a grip on it. You secretly envy people who are naturally punctual. You wait for a round number on the clock to start getting ready. And if you miss that round number, you wait for the next one. You enter waiting mode hours before an appointment and can do nothing else. You underestimate how many micro steps are actually in taking a shower. Trying to multitask while brushing your teeth just creates a mess. You lose track of reality scrolling short videos just for a minute. You think 10 minutes is enough time to clean your entire room. A single misplaced item creates a domino effect of delays. You finally leave only to realize you forgot your mask or glasses. Running back inside, keeping your shoes on to save seconds. Your sense of direction fails you exactly when you are in a rush. You blame the traffic, but deep down you know it's your time management. Your friends start telling you an earlier time just to trick you. You plan to leave at the time the event actually starts. You feel completely paralyzed when there are too many steps. You rely heavily on the panic monster to get things done. You constantly check the clock, but the numbers don't register. You base your travel time on the fastest trip you ever made. You find yourself apologizing profusely, feeling immense guilt. You realize your lateness is a symptom of a chaotic mind, not a lack of care. You realize you need gas only after you start the car. Stopping to pet your dog for 1 second costs you 10 minutes. You prioritize making coffee over arriving on time. It suddenly starts raining and you can't find an umbrella. A bad hair day becomes a 15-minute emergency fix. You decide to cook a full meal 10 minutes before you have to leave. You wait for your phone to hit a safe battery percentage. You waste time picking the perfect playlist for the drive, suddenly remembering a birthday card you need to buy on the way. Then you get stuck behind the slowest walker on earth. Finding a parking spot feels like finding a needle in a haystack. Your GPS reroutes you, adding 7 minutes to your arrival. You text, "Parking now," when you are still on the highway. You arrive feeling sticky, stressed, and out of breath. Attempting to sneak into the back of the room like a ninja. Spinning a mental wheel of excuses to see which one fits. The shame cloud hangs over your head for the rest of the day. You set your clocks fast, but your brain just does the math anyway. Sometimes you put the wrong date in your calendar and show up a day late. You realize your brain is wired differently, and that's the root cause. Circling the block for 15 minutes looking for that perfect spot. Running for the train doors just as they slide shut. The snooze button is your greatest enemy and best friend. You pace back and forth, wasting energy instead of getting ready. Eating a piece of toast while trying to tie your shoes. Smudging your mascara or shaving poorly because your hand is shaking. Staring at the microwave timer, willing it to go faster. Your cat decides to sit on your lap right when you need to leave. Texting, "Leaving now," while you are still in a towel. You are fully dressed, shoes on, and suddenly, you have to pee. Your phone hits 1% battery just as you step outside. You can only find one sock and the other has vanished. Spilling coffee on your white shirt 1 minute before departure. Deciding to iron your shirt at the very last second. Checking the weather and realizing you are wearing the wrong shoes. The elevator stops at every single floor on the way down. Getting stuck behind a garbage truck on a narrow road. Sprinting up the escalator because standing feels too slow. Bursting into the room and everyone stops talking. You collapse into a chair, physically drained from the panic. Waiting for your phone to charge just 5% more. Scrolling through playlists in the car instead of driving. Deciding to water the plants on your way out the door. Getting stuck in a conversation you are too polite to end. Taking a shortcut that ends up taking twice as long. Leaving, forgetting your bag, going back and forgetting your keys. It feels like every traffic light is conspiring against you. The anxiety of being late sits heavy on your chest. Relying on magical thinking that teleportation might happen. The "I'll get gas tomorrow" lie comes back to haunt you. Trying to text and walk, bumping into a doorframe. The 5 more minutes sleep cycle traps you in a loop. Staring at your wardrobe like it's a complex puzzle. Attempting to brush your hair while putting on shoes. Everything feels like it's moving in slow motion except the clock. Checking the time constantly, but the numbers don't register. The shame of receiving the "Where are you?" text is crushing. Running to the car in the rain because you can't find your umbrella. The car engine takes forever to start on a cold morning. You finally sit down, only to realize you forgot the most important thing. You overestimate your walking speed and underestimate the distance. Your bag becomes a black hole that swallows your keys instantly. Trying to iron your shirt while you are wearing it to save time. Realizing you forgot to eat, so you grab a banana for the road. The bus driver makes eye contact with you and drives away anyway. Mixing up AM and PM and showing up 12 hours wrong. Getting stuck behind a tractor on a 1-lane road. Your phone falls into the gap between the car seats. Applying makeup or fixing hair at every red light. Lying about being just around the corner. Running out of toothpaste exactly when you are rushing. Your pet escapes the moment you open the door to leave. Forgetting where you parked your car in a giant lot. Arriving and realizing you are wearing 2 different shoes. Trying to drink hot coffee while running and burning your tongue. Catching your sleeve on the door handle, jerking you back. Deciding to reorganize your bag right before leaving. Stopping for gas because the light has been on for 2 days. Hitting every pothole because you are driving too fast. Finally arriving, melting into a puddle of relief and sweat. You slide into your seat exactly 1 second before the meeting starts. Everyone looks at you and you pretend you've been there for minutes. You realize that time blindness is a real thing, not just an excuse. So you start using visual timers instead of digital clocks. You learn to add buffer time to every single plan, accepting that you are an optimist about time but need to be a realist. You stop blaming traffic and start owning your schedule. For the first time ever, you arrive 10 minutes early. The peace of not rushing feels strange but amazing. You are still learning, but finally you are moving at your own pace.